So while I wouldn't say that Danielle and I have a drinking problem, we certainly have an alcohol problem. This is our bar. It sits above our oven. It's a little hotter than we'd like it to be up there, and it's jam packed full of, all the little stuff you acquire over a adult lifetime of trying different cocktails and whatnot. So I thought, hey, I can build some drawers. I'm getting good at this. Well, sort of good at this. And so I set about doing some math and talking to myself, as one can see very clearly. And then I got some visitors in the shop. They're awfully cute. They wanted to say hi, squawk about a little bit. And then, eventually they kind of made their way out and went back to greener pastures, as it were. So I got about cutting down some scrap wood. This is some scrap Baltic birch that I had from another project. Very high quality plywood. It's pre-finished. It's wonderful to work with. Very dimensionally stable. It's also wicked expensive. So I was trying to do this all out of scrap, and I was successful in that, which was great. So here I'm getting those scrap pieces cut down to size and just rocking and rolling through all of them, getting them square. And, I'm trying to get this table to work for me, and boy, is it tough. I mean, here I was just trying to find them, and everything's almost right, not quite right. So here I am cutting the groove in the bottom of the panels to accept the drawer bottom, doing a quick little test fit, and setting up the pocket hole screw jig here. I'm using pocket holes on this. They're pretty strong. But I'm using them on the weak side. Unfortunately, there's sort of a strong way to put them together and a weak way to put them together. Unfortunately, just due to appearances, I'm doing them the weak way. Although they're going to be plenty strong for what we're doing. Really, they've got to hold weight up, not deal with a lot of pulling and pushing and that kind of stuff. So here you can see I've cut the back panel a little bit short, and that's to allow me to slip the underside in. And that's an acceptable way of going about it. And you'll see me kind of assemble it a little bit later. So here I am picking it up, checking for square, making sure it's happy. And now I'm setting up the router because I want to cut some windows in the side of this. Basically, it's going to be sort of above your head, so I want to be able to at least see, a little bit better. And so here I am using the jigsaw to sort of pre-cut this, and then I'm going to take it over to the router. And this was uncomfortable, cutting this close to a spinning blade, and really felt like I was sort of pulling out of my bag of luck rather than my bag of skill, if that makes sense. So was trying to work as safely as I could. I'm sure there are safer ways to do this, and I'm committed to learning those. Ultimately, I was okay with this. Like basically somewhere between trying to breathe and trying to not cut off my fingers. Somewhere in there it worked. But I would probably look for a safer way to do this the next time, should I ever do anything like this. But it worked, and so it cut these windows in. You'll see it kind of as we get things put together, how that comes through. But overall, worked good. We got things sort of laid out and cut a couple more pieces. I think at this point I started using the track saw to cut the windows rather than the jigsaw. That worked fine. So here I am doing sort of a test assembly on it, making sure I'm happy with things. And I think for whatever reason I had to go back and undo these things 3 or 4 times. Here I am routering things around, and then I realized I couldn't fit the router in between, so I had to take it apart again, and then I put it back together to router the top. And all I'm doing here is just breaking the edge with a little chamfer bit, just a little 45-degree chamfer, just so it's not sharp on the fingers. And do a little bit of sanding. I don't have to sand the faces of it because I mentioned it's a pre-finished plywood, so I don't have to sand the faces. I don't have to put a finish on it, which is real nice. So here I am cutting down the back panel, slipping that in, and then you just secure it with a couple of screws at the back end, and it's perfectly fine. So here are the 2 drawers that are finished up, and now I'm using some jigs that come with the Bloom hardware to drill pre-drill holes and put in. So these that you see here are the little release handles that keep legs locked in place, and if you squeeze those orange pieces towards the outside edge, it'll release and you can pull it off. So here I am emptying the liquor cabinet, quite specifically a real cabinet, and now this cabinet was never designed to have drawers, right? So I'm inserting some blocking so that the drawer slides will clear the face frame. You can see the face frame sort of there by my shoulder. That's bordering the cabinet. So putting some blocking on both sides, put a little blocking here in the middle. And then I was a little bit worried because this cabinet's old, it's particle board, it's not really the strongest. So I decided to also put a vertical piece at the back so that if you think about the likelihood of the drawer tipping or falling on the ground and tipping out as you pull the drawer out. It's fairly heavy with all those bottles in it. This would transfer that force up to the top of the cabinet, which would transfer it to some of the structure of the kitchen and really make it, I think, pretty darn impossible for these things to fall out. So here I am basically putting the drawer runners in, the drawer slides I should say, to get those screwed in place. This was challenging. Nothing, this old kitchen, old cabinets, nothing's square, nothing's flat, nothing's strong, but we got it to work. So here we are putting the second one in, and they fortunately they fit. Not quite sure what I would have done if they didn't. I mean, guess I would have fixed it some way. But here we go, loading the bottles back up, and here we have the finished cabinet. So here, you'd still do have to open the door, but when you pull these out, you can really see what's there. You can get to things that are at the back of the cabinet, and you don't have to worry about emptying the whole cabinet so you can get to the back. So anyway, really fun project. Reminder just to subscribe to the channel if you want to see the things I'm doing in the future, and thanks for stopping by and taking a look.